Hello. Please take your seats and welcome to the Ohio State and Columbus. For many people, Columbus may be the first time you're visiting, as it was for me a year ago. So welcome to the HDF User Group meeting. This is the first in-person and the hybrid user group meeting. Previously, we had a few online HDF User Group meetings. But this is the first time we are trying to organize in person, and we are very glad we had so many people attending this. Okay, all right. I don't think I have to explain what HDF5 is to this group because you all know and why you are here. And the thing that I could mention is it's been 25 years since the first release of HDF5, and being an open source software, that much of longevity and sustainability is amazing. And the number of users and downloads we see, this map shows hundreds of thousands of users downloading HDF5 all across the world. And thanks to the HDF group that has been maintaining and developing HDF5 for the last more than 25 years, and through thick and thin, budget issues and all this, but thank you. I would like to commend their efforts in this thing. And the user community as well as the developer community is also growing, and thanks to several of those that are presenting today's and tomorrow's talks that are on those topics. Okay, and yeah, this is a happy birthday for a celebration for HDF5. And so a little bit about this user group meeting. We had a couple of those user group meetings in the past 2 years during COVID, and most of them were online. There were a few in Europe that are also called the European HDF user group meetings. And this first in-person meeting and also hybrid, we have about 56 registrations for in-person attendance and 10 registrations for online. There are 16 students, and it's a great opportunity for the students to mingle with a lot of seasoned scientists and researchers in HDF5. Please, I would urge the students to talk to everyone and get as much information as possible, okay? And the keynote speakers, there are a couple of keynote speakers. One is from Mark Paterno from Fermi National Lab, and tomorrow Tanya Berger-Wolf will be giving a talk about Welome type of data management issues in that in a completely different area of research where HDF5 can expand. And there are a couple of lunch talks as well. Mark Miller is giving a talk on the history and of before HDF5. And tomorrow, Mike Falk is going to give a talk about the history of HDF group and HDF5. Okay, and there are at least 3 student posters. They will be setting up outside, so please attend those. And we also would like to thank NSF to support some travel for the students, and AWS and Lifeboat supported the banquet, thanks to those representatives that are here, and Ohio State University for providing the location dollars. I'm not going into the details of all the agenda. It's a packed agenda. I don't think you would even get time to have lunch, but have lunch. And if you want to go to the details of those, the QR code is there, or tinyurl 23 takes you to the agenda page. And this is day 1, and day 2 is full of 29 or 30 presentations, and student poster presentations as well that are scheduled for today. And to celebrate all this, tomorrow we will go out to Bravo Italian Kitchen for a banquet. So there are a couple of long discussion topics today and tomorrow before the end of the day. So have the discussion there and another discussion at the banquet. And there is also a tutorial day if you're learning about HDF5, especially for students. The tutorial day is a Friday. Okay, and just a bit of logistics. Breakfast and lunch are outside the room. I came to know a little later that food and drinks are not allowed in this room, so you have to have the lunch and everything outside. And for lunch talks, please come back. And we were thinking that could be, you can bring the lunch and eat it here, but it may not be. And all the presenters, please upload your talks to the Google Drive, but in case you must, use your laptop, see the session chair. And Wi-Fi at OSU is there, but please don't use it. Focus more on the talks. And restrooms are located outside near the hallway where the food is located. And with that, I would like to thank the organizing committee, who has been a very friendly group, and it made things so easy to set this thing up. And special thanks to Lori, who has taken over all the logistics pretty much, and Hurry for setting up all the catering and all this. Okay, and enjoy the user group meeting. Communicate, talk to a bunch of like-minded HDF5 folks. And with that, I would like to welcome our CS Department Chair, Professor Anish Arora, to give a welcome from Ohio State University. Right?
Well, let me add my welcome to you to be here at Ohio State and in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. You know, I read the program with great pleasure, and it was even more enjoyable to see that at 8 a.m. the conversations that started in the foyer on bits and bytes of data processing and flows and algorithms. So I know I'm in the right place. But I'm really grateful that our professors Suren, Byna, Ari Subramani, and the organizing committee chose to have this very first in-person meeting here. And for us, it's a chance just to share with you some things that are happening here. And I hope that through that sharing, maybe you'll find that there is a real interest in connecting with your efforts. The very short story of what I want to say is that this is an environment where we deeply care about team science, about large science, about data-driven work, and in building partnerships. And I think we are structuring ourselves to do these at scale. So maybe a few words about that. So, historically, we've had tremendous strength in parallel computing, in data mining, data processing, in all aspects of systems, computer architecture, visualization. But a particular strength that I'd like to call out is high-performance computing. So we've been one of the world leaders for a long time in high-performance computing. And in its most recent incarnation, that has taken us into data-driven, AI-driven work. So we're leading an effort on cyber infrastructure, AI for cyber infrastructure. And that effort is in the form of an NSF AI Institute. So think about it as high-performance computing for AI and AI for high-performance computing. It's the entire stack, taking care of all the heterogeneities, taking care of how you can do end-to-end things in a way that can be demonstrated at scale. So lots of building of reference platforms, reference architectures, and I think we find opportunities there for this group's engagement in that effort. So that's the Icicle Institute, and my colleague, Pando, sitting in the back, is leading that institute. So a second such effort, if you allow me to share, is led by my colleague Tanya Berger-Wolf, whom Suren pointed out will speak about Welome tomorrow. Now, Tanya's institute, also an NSF institute, it's an HDR institute, is called Imageomics. And it's the idea that if you have image data sets at different levels of abstractions, whether it's genomics, proteomics, whole body images at scale, then you can do analysis across all these layers in a sort of a meaningfully guided way. By meaningfully guided, what I mean is it's AI, but it's driven by biology. So it's bio-inspired AI. That's the domain-ology you're bringing into. So hopefully you'll hear a little bit about that, but also about Welome, which is this world-scale effort at collecting data and using it for various purposes in conservation. So I was highlighting Tanya in part because I hope she will tell you about these efforts, and an institute we have on campus called the Translational Data Analytics Institute, which is a super connector. And through her, if you have interesting conversations, you'll find lots of projects which I imagine may have connections to what you folks think about. So on a related note, in addition to bio-inspired work, there's a bunch of physics-inspired and other knowledge-inspired data work happening on campus. One of those is happening in an institute that I engage in, which is AI for networks and networks for AI. It's called AI Edge. And perhaps I won't say too much more other than there's a lot of us who are interested in this idea of knowledge-guided machine learning and AI. And it often happens in the context of large data. So again, that might be an opportunity for conversation. So perhaps switching gears, I did want to share that we are a department that's in a period of tremendous growth. A couple of years ago, we decided we would double our faculty. So we are headed towards a faculty of 100. We hired about 15 odd folks, and folks as good and great as Suren and Byna here joined us. So really, that is part of us telling ourselves that we do care a lot about partnerships. We do care a lot about engagement with national agencies. We care a lot about engagement with companies and with other universities, of course. That's bread and butter. So we are really tooling ourselves for doing these projects at and through Ohio State. And the institutes are just an example of that. Really, what we are trying to do is to build centers of excellence, regional centers, national, international centers of excellence. So hopefully, coming out of these conversations, we can find some folks to engage with you. So very briefly to say, this is us. We really look forward to partnering with you. I hope you will have a great meeting. But please do take some time to go around this campus. You're here at a very pretty time. I say this in part because my 3,800 students will show up this weekend, and you're going to miss that crowd. So you'll be able to negotiate campus in a rather fun way. And not to mention the other 50,000 who show up next week. But please enjoy. And I look forward to looking in the hallway and hearing some more. Take care.